can't see me on screen. Okay.
Sandhya, please go ahead. Sandhya,
Good
you can start.
afternoon, everybody. And am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can
You are
anybody
audible,
confirm?
Sandhya.
Ma'am, Sangam?
Audible,
All right.
audible.
Very good afternoon. Yeah, very good afternoon to everybody. A warm welcome to this session. As I say, it's a warm afternoon. And thank you, everybody, for taking out time and being with us. This is Sandhya heading the Delhi chapter, and with me joins this afternoon my colleagues, Ms. Josephine, who heads the Haryana chapter, and a very young budding nurse manager with us. And all three of us join hands, extending a very warm welcome to this Empower Hour. Before we set the proceedings for the session, I invite Ms. Thangam, the president of ANI, to share her thoughts. And of course, she is going to unveil a surprise for all of you. Just watch out. Ms. Thangam?
Good morning, everyone. Hi, and a very, very warm welcome. And I'm very happy to see that we are starting the day with the 84 participants. May I request before I start speaking, can you all please mute yourself? Some discipline is very important, because if there is a lot of disturbance, then we will not be able to hear anything that's happening here. So please check your system and mute yourself. I don't want to get to a situation where I'm going to mute everyone. So please, thank you so much. And I think Sandhya has done a general welcome to all of you. My job here is very, very special today, because Annie believes in celebrating nurses. And we want to hear about more nurses who are doing great job, especially out of the ordinary. And when you hear such stories, you really feel something goes inside your heart saying, wow, we have such nurses in the country. Fantastic. We feel so proud, and we are very proud to have such role models. So we are very honored to have one such person with us today, and that is Mrs. Madhuri Mishra. May I request Mrs. Madhuri Mishra to come on the screen, please? मैम माधुरी, प्लीज आप वीडियो ऑन कर लीजिएगा. Yes, Madam Madhuri, मैंने आपको देख लिया है. So if you want to see her close, go to the view button and you can put it on. You can even pin her if you want on your screen, so you can see her. So what I am going to do, I'm going to pin her. If you go to the on her photo, search her by Madhuri, and then when you find her name, click the three dots and then click on pin. That means you can see her exclusively, even if others are on the video. So that's what I'm going to do. Madhuri ji, namaste. कैसे हैं आप?
बहुत अच्छे.
बहुत अच्छे. अभी तो आप तो इतनी सारी वीडियो में आ चुके हैं, तो आपको तो बहुत अच्छे से पता है कि कैमरा में कैसे बैठना है, दिखना है. वो हमें सीखना चाहिए आपसे कि कैसे दिखना चाहिए. आप यहाँ आए, इसके लिए हम बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार है. और थैंक यू सो मच कि आप यहाँ. कितना खुशी हमें है तो बयान करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है. बहुत आपका बहुत बहुत तहे दिल से आपका धन्यवाद, जो आप जिस चीज के लिए आपको सराहाया गया पूरी दुनिया. और वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू दिस शो. ये आपको मैंने पहले ही बताया है, ये एसोसिएशन का नाम है एसोसिएशन ऑफ नर्स एग्जीक्यूटिव्स इंडिया. ये 3 साल पुराना है और इसमें हमारे पूरे भारत के जितने प्राइवेट सेक्टर की काफी सीनियर नर्सिंग लीडर्स थे, और पब्लिक के भी थोड़े हैं, ज्यादा नहीं है, काफी है. और आप दिख रहे हैं यहाँ 80 से ज्यादा लोग ऑलरेडी यहाँ लॉग इन किए हुए हैं. और ये इसको अभी रिकॉर्ड भी किया जा रहा है, तो अब इसको हम बाद में हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल में भी अपलोड करेंगे. तो जितना हम आपके बारे में बता सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं, दिखा सकते हैं, वो तो हम कोशिश करेंगे ही। और आपको जो ढूंढ निकाले थे, अगर वो इस ग्रुप में है तो मैं उनको बुलाना चाहूंगी। डॉक्टर गीता परवंदा, आर यू देयर? डॉक्टर गीता परवंदा, आर यू देयर?
Yes,
She's
madam. Yes, madam.
come on the video. Please come on the video.
Yeah, I have already put it on, ma'am. Jai Hind.
ओके मैडम गीता, सो आप हेल्प किया है मैडम माधुरी को ढूंढ निकालने में, एंड डॉक्टर गीता परवंदा इज द चैप्टर हेड ऑफ यूपी एसोसिएशन ऑफ नर्स एग्जीक्यूटिव्स इंडिया. So what you see here for all the people in the group is what you see here is a team effort from Association of Nurse Executives, and today's topic is also on being a good team player. So अगर आज माधुरी मैडम यहाँ बैठे हैं, वो इसलिए नहीं कि किसी एक जन ने काम किया है, पहले किसी ने वो इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर किया है, फिर हमने सोचा कि हम इनको ढूंढते हैं, तो मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया है, वो सब डॉक्टर गीता ने किया था. डॉक्टर गीता 2 मिनट लगा के आप बता दीजिएगा कि आपने मैडम माधुरी को कैसे ढूंढ निकाले. डॉक्टर गीता प्लीज आप बता दीजिए आपने
yes, ma'am.
कैसे.
Sure. Jai Hind.
बोलिए.
Hello. I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes,
A very
yes,
Jai Hind to all. Yes. Okay. Madam, since when I saw in the newspaper about Mrs. Madhuri Mishra, so we were just in search of this noble work done by Madam. So I found out from A&M leader of UP district, that is Mrs. Meera Paswan. Meera Paswan is the A&M leader working in Lucknow. तो सबसे पहले मैंने उनको संपर्क किया क्योंकि उनके पास A&M का पूरा डाटा रहता है, और मैडम माधुरी मिश्रा का भी मैंने उनको उनकी लिस्ट में नाम और पता करने के लिए बताया. बट यूपी में सिंस वी हैव 71 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑल अराउंड, and each districts I think have more than 2000 A&M, so it was getting delayed to find out the exact address of madam. So we had gone, I had a contact of CMO Agra, और ये पता किया हमने कि मिसेस माधुरी जी CMO कैंपस में रहती हैं. So one of my student is from Agra, so I had requested him to find out somehow the madam's contact number, because I think her update phone number was not there in the CMO office. So again, it took 2 more days to find out. And the student name is Lakshmikant. His uncle had gone to madam's residence, and वो आपके पास आए, और आई एम सो थैंकफुल मैडम कि आपने उनका स्वागत भी किया और उनको अपना डिटेल कांटेक्ट दिया. तो मेरा आपसे नमस्कार है माधुरी जी कि आपने यस कि बहुत सारी चीजें तो आई थिंक गॉड से कनेक्टेड होती हैं, बट सिंस आपका काम इतना नोबल था और आपने इतनी मेहनत करी, तो हम आपसे जुड़ी गए. एंड वंस ऑफ ऑल थैंक्स टू एनी प्रेसिडेंट दैट हु हैज मोटिवेटेड मी टू दिस जॉब. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर गीता. माधुरी जी आपसे 2 मिनट 2 सवाल 3 सवाल करना चाहेंगे कि आप कोरोना के टाइम में भी आपने काम किया है, आपका जो भी एरिया असाइंड थे वहाँ की वैक्सीनेशन की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपके पास थी, एंड हमें पता है कि भारत में कितना महत्वपूर्ण रोल आप लोग करते हैं, जो लास्ट माइल में वैक्सीनेशन की, प्रेगनेंसी सेफ्टी हो जो भी है वो सब आप ही लोग करते हैं. हम तो हॉस्पिटल्स में होते हैं, सबका अपना रोल तो होता ही है, लेकिन हम ये आपसे सुनना चाहेंगे कि कोरोना होते हुए भी आप 8 किलोमीटर दूर चल के गई अपना कर्तव्य पूरा करने के लिए, तो ये इसकी सबकी हिम्मत आपको कहाँ से मिली है?
ये हिम्मत एक अंदर से होती है. जब हमारे अंदर ये भावना उठती है ना, हमें किसी को बीमारी से बचाना है, हमें किसी को जिंदगी देनी है, हमारी एक छोटी सी चीज से उसकी लाइफ बीमारियों से, जानलेवा बीमारी से बच सकती है। ये मेरे दिल के अंदर थी।
तो आप फिजिकली आप देखिए, अभी तो आप रिटायर हो चुके हैं फरवरी में, मतलब आप 60 साल के हो गए हैं। 60 साल और 59 के बीच में एक दिन का फर्क होता है। लेकिन आप कोरोना के टाइम में आप चल के गए हैं, तो कभी आपकी फैमिली ने आपको बोला है कि नहीं मम्मा आप घर पे बैठो, ऐसे क्यों जाना है, मतलब बाहर सब कोरोना है, आपको रिस्क नहीं लेना है? शायद कहा हो, क्योंकि मेरा बच्चा भी मेरे से ये कहता है कि ये सब नहीं लेना है। तो वो सब आपने कैसे मैनेज कर लिया है?
वो अपने बच्चों को समझाया। मैंने कहा बेटा हमें सब लोग अपने अपने वक्त में काम कर रहे हैं और मैं इसी डिपार्टमेंट में हूँ, तो मेरा फर्ज बनता है कि हम इस कार्य को करें। तो बच्चों को मैंने समझाया, तो बोले मम्मा आप अच्छे से जाइए। मैंने कहा हाँ आप चिंता नहीं करो, हम अच्छे से जाएंगे, मास्क पहनेंगे, हैंड वॉश करेंगे। और घर घर जाके हम सर्वे भी किया, पर हमें पता नहीं क्यों अंदर से हिम्मत थी, मुझे डर ही नहीं लगता था किसी चीज के लिए, ऐसा महसूस ही नहीं किया कि, बल्कि हमारे सिंह जी होते तो कहते मैडम आप उसको टच मत करिए। हम बोल लेते, सैनिटाइजर लेते थे, हाथ बार बार वॉश करते थे, और जब जिससे मिलते थे उनको भी समझाते थे। ऐसा बच्चों ने भी हमारे कहा, पर हमने उनको समझाया कि सभी लोग अंदर बैठ जाएंगे तो काम कौन करेगा।
आपने बहुत सही बताया, अगर सही लोग अंदर बैठ जाएंगे तो काम कौन करेंगे। सही आपने बताया। आप ये बताइए कि आप पूरा जिंदगी फाइनल वो प्राइमरी केयर में आपने बिताया है, बहुत कुछ आपने देखा भी है। तो आपका मैसेज क्या होगा आजकल के नर्सेस, जितने ऑडियंस अभी यहाँ बैठे हैं, तो उनके लिए आप क्या मैसेज छोड़ना चाहेंगे?
उनके लिए मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि जो भी कार्य हमें मिला है, जो भी कार्य में हम सक्षम हैं, उसे हमें पूर्ण रूप से विश्वास के साथ करना चाहिए, तो हमें जरूर सफलता मिलेगी।
दैट्स बहुत बड़ी सीख आपने बताया। आई एम गोइंग टू ट्रांसलेट दैट टू माय बेस्ट एफर्ट टू ऑल द पीपल who don't understand Hindi. What she told is the role that is given to us, the responsibility that is given to us. If we complete that with full intent and with lot of consciousness, then I think we are doing the most important thing that is entrusted to us. We are fulfilling the role and the responsibility that is given to us. So what I would like to add is that what Madam Madhuri is telling is that not everybody needs to be in place of everyone. Everyone has their own role. And if each one of us will complete that role to the full capacity, then altogether the healthcare scenario in India can definitely get better. Sahi, madam? आपका रोल, हमारा रोल, जितने लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं, सबका अपना अपना एक रोल है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। जो आपने कहा कि सब अपनी अपनी जगह पे अपना अपना रोल पूरे दिलो जान से अगर कंप्लीट करेंगे, तो उसका जो एंड रिजल्ट है वो इंडिया का हेल्थ केयर के लिए काफी अच्छा होगा। तभी तो हमारा गोल्स हम अचीव कर पाएंगे। वही हमने थोड़ा सा ट्रांसलेट किया है। मैम माधुरी, थैंक यू सो मच। आप इतने बड़े रोल मॉडल हैं। हमने सिर्फ एक कोशिश किया है कि आपको यहाँ लाके, अभी 116 लोग है इसमें, वो आप लोग देख रहे हैं। इसके बाद जो ये रिकॉर्डिंग आगे अपलोड करेंगे तो और भी लोग देखेंगे, तो आपको देख के शायद थोड़ा सा मोटिवेट हो जाए कि अपने रोल में अपना जॉब रोल जो है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, पूरी तरीके से वो निभा सके, और जिससे कि पेशेंट और हमारी कम्युनिटी की फायदा हो। यस मैम, एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम कि आप यहाँ आए, टाइम निकाला है। आपको देख के बहुत खुशी हुई। आपकी जो सेटिस्फैक्शन है वो आपके फेस पे दिख रहा है, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि जब फाइनली जब आप रिटायर होते हो या जब भी काम करना बंद करते हो, वो एक होना चाहिए कि मैंने कुछ किया है, और आपने बहुत कुछ किया है। थैंक यू सो मच एंड मे गॉड ब्लेस यू। हम आपके लिए दुआ करेंगे कि आप हमेशा सेहतमंद रहे, और वापस हम आपको इनवाइट करेंगे। हमारे मई 21 एंड 22 में हमारा कॉन्फ्रेंस है, एनुअल कॉन्फ्रेंस, वो भी वर्चुअल है। उसमें आप जरूर आ जाइएगा, हम आपको इनवाइट करेंगे। थैंक यू सो मच। अभी इस सेशन में भी प्लीज अगर आप चाहे तो आप बिल्कुल रह के आप देख सकते हैं कि हम क्या डिस्कस करते हैं। अभी मैं हैंड ओवर करूंगी Captain Sandhya
Thank you.
Shankar.
Dhanyavad.
Please take over the session, and thank you so much that Annie is standing for empowering nurses. And please go ahead. It's a message to all that if you come to know of anything specially done out of the ordinary done by any nurses, let us know. Annie will help to celebrate them. Thank you so much, and thank you, ma'am, once again. Madam Sandhya, please take over. Thank you, Dr. Geeta. One more
Yes.
very big shout out to you for finding Madam Madhuri. Thank you so much for that. Sandhya, please, you can take over. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Ma'am Thangam. I take over. Yes, I'm taking it forward. Thank you, Ma'am Thangam. Thank you very much. And friends, when we gather here just to celebrate what nursing and what empowerment is all about, let me tell you one thing. The most beautiful thing and the message which Madhuriji has left for all of us. Just doing the right thing when nobody in the world was watching, nobody in the world was bothered, and nobody was sensitive around to provide any resources or to come and check. It was self-motivation, it was integrity, it was the willpower, and it was the principles of life which drove the person to do the right thing. And here today, this afternoon, we have all gathered. The discussion, the talks, the conversation in this afternoon is all about this. Are we doing the right thing? And is it the right way? Yes. So the topic are the nurses, how the nurses can become effective team players in the journey of patient safety. And with me join our colleagues, Ms. Josephine and Ms. Nishu, and I'm the privileged one to once again, to briefly introduce my partners here. Ms. Josephine, of course, everybody know her as an eminent nurse leader. She's an alumnus of Holy Family and All India Institute of Medical Sciences. She is one of those very few nurse leaders in the country who are the principal assessors with the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. Having a vast career and I would say tenure dedicated to clinical nursing, quality in healthcare, and as well as leadership. Today, she has agreed to be amongst us to share her experience and the learnings of life. And with this, we have a very young budding Nishu Arora with us, a young nurse, an alumnus of Safdarjung Hospital, and a seasoned oncology nurse as well as a trained OT skilled, competent nurse, has marked her presence in the journey of quality, currently working with Indraprastha Apollo Hospital as a quality assurance officer, building the nursing excellence in the organization. I welcome two of you and thank you very much for consenting to be with us. Without wasting much time, I begin with our session and I throw my first question to Ms. Josephine. Are you there? I'm not able to see you on the screen. Can you please confirm? Ms. Josephine, are you there with us? Merlin, can you please help and confirm Ms. Joseph is still there or she had some network issues?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just talk to her.
Hello?
Ma'am, I'll just talk to her, ma'am.
Yeah. So while we proceed, so without wasting much time, Nishu, let's get talking. And do you think so? You have worked often in hospital, Safdarjung, Rajiv Nasser Institute, Max Care, Apollo. And you know, I would say, yes.
Your voice is breaking.
So, all right. Am I audible now?
Yes.
All right. So, Nishu, do you think nurses really play a role in ensuring patient safety in their hospitals while they are working with the other healthcare teams? I'll just help and elaborate on this. Do you really think, as a frontline, as a bedside nurse, they really feel as a part of the team those healthcare teams, those who ensure the patients are treated in a safe environment. What's been your experience so far?
Can you check once?
Yes, ma'am, I would like to give you the answer for the same. Hope I am audible to all of you. I don't have any doubt, and I feel all the members presenting here have any doubt that nurses playing a vital role for the patient care and patient safety, ma'am.
Wait.
So nurses are the frontline warriors. At
So
the
what
time
shall
of
we do?
COVID, even they proven themselves very well. At any point of time, at any point of position, at any point of experience, they are playing a very important role. One of the things, as this is an Empower hour, I want to add on for that. Empowerment is not a gift. Nobody will gift you like that. Empowerment, you have to earn the empowerment. It's up to you. We discussed with Madhuri ma'am, Tangam ma'am discussed about the same, and you're saying that we should feel whatever we are doing, we are accountable for the same. We have some role. When I'm coming for the duty, I have some purpose. I have some commitment for my patients. When I'm leaving my family, that's important that I should solve the purpose when I'm coming here. I want to go back when 10 years back when I just joined the Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute, and firstly they deployed me in the operation theater. So my operation theater in charge, I was so much I have so much energy in myself. I want to do something. Wow! I want to do something for the patient. I want to do something for the organization. I want to do something for my nursing department. I want to raise their bar. But she gave me a task the first week to wash the instruments and this pack the CSSD set. So one day I did okay, second day also okay. But on the third and fourth day, I feel very bad and I feel that why she is not allowing me to go inside the OT. I want to see and assess the case because I want to grow fast. That's my energy level at the time. I was not that much rational to understand the reason behind it. And I start developing a conflict for herself between both of us. And I feel that she don't want me to grow. Trust me, ma'am, that's the OT and that's the in charge who promotes me. And in the same OT, after 3 years, I was the person who was doing the procedure, not even assisting for the procedure. At the time, I was not rational with my thoughts, but I want to share with, especially to the young nurses, that whenever you are assigned with some task, your seniors, they are assigning you, trust them, believe them, believe the system, believe the persons, because in healthcare organizations, the most important assets are the healthcare workers. And with the experience, they learn more. So if I apply the rule 50-50 in that scenario, when she is giving me a task just to wash the instruments and pack it for the CSSD, if I apply the rule 50-50, means one benefit for myself, one benefit for the organization. What could be the benefit for me is that if I'm packing the instrument and cleaning this instrument, so I comes to know various instruments used in the operation theater for specific cases, and I strengthen my knowledge from book to the practical knowledge about the sterilization and disinfection. And for the organization, definitely, indirectly or directly, I'm contributing for the patient safety, because if I do my work sincerely, if I disinfect and sterilize instrument sincerely, appropriately, with the complete process without breaching the protocol, so I am accountable to reducing the risk of infection, surgical site infection to the patient for whom that set is going to use. So that is the depth of role and ensuring the patient safety and carrying a positive attitude in every situation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nishu. So rightly you said, it's about the role, and the young nurses when they begin their career, they are in their formative phase of nursing, the initial few years of career, laying the foundations of the profession. Kids, just accept the role which is assigned by the leaders in your department, the heads in the department, because every opportunity is a learning opportunity. And so, Miss Josephine,
yes, I'm very much
I'm
here.
so glad you're there.
Sandhya, video connectivity, there is some issue. I just told Tangam that I have renamed my entry as Josephine. I changed to from Melissa to Josephine.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Let's move on. We are simply
Okay.
happy you having amongst us.
Okay.
So, Ms. Josephine, we certainly like to learn from your experience. And as Nishu has rightly set the context, for other nurses, literally, do they really feel they are part of the teams who take care of the patients, ensuring they are safe in our premises? I would like to know from you, being the leaders, do we really experience that our nurses understand that what patient safety is, and they are able to imbibe in the daily routine when they are spending hours next to the patients, caring for them day in and day out?
Okay.
Do they
Thank
really
you,
understand what patient safety?
Yeah.
What's been your experience so far?
It's all about. Yes, yes. So thanks, Santhya, for the detailed introduction and the beautiful question you have put it to me. See, if I say from heart, with my long career experience, to an extent, I will say nurses are very much aware of what is patient safety. See, at leadership level, we work with the nurses of junior level, mid-level managers, and senior nurses. I can say a fresh graduate who has passed out from the school or the college, she may understand what is patient safety, much different from a nurse who has already worked in the hospital with patients and has exposed to the challenges in ensuring patient safety. There can be vast difference between their awareness level. But today, with the most hospitals going for accreditation, whether they are small, medium size, or healthcare organizations, much bigger in capacity, nurses are getting exposed to the standards and accreditation and quality, and most of them are aware of patient safety. Now, the level of knowledge of patient safety, I can say, varies. Like if you look at the junior most nurse, she understands what is patient safety, and she is assigned to, once she is credentialed and privileged, she start taking patients, she start taking care. But the healthcare scenario has changed today. If you look at the hospitals today and 20 years back, vast difference. So even though they are aware of patient safety, the magnitude of challenges in front of them, the complexity of healthcare, the dynamics of a team, how they are working in the healthcare, and the interrelationship between various teams in the healthcare, which all contributes in ensuring patient safety, that depth of knowledge may be lacking among today many of the young nurses, and that is where we have to focus on as senior nurses. I'll give you an example. When staff is assigned, a nursing personnel is assigned to patients, she knows that to ensure patient safety, her patients have to be taken care. She knows about IPSG goals. She has learned about medication rights. She has learned about infection control protocols, quality standards. But when she is with the patient, due to various factors, she might have assessed the patient correctly and documented and done the activities properly, that is nurse A, or else she has assessed but not able to implement it, ensuring patient safety. Or in the third category, she couldn't assess the patient correctly when she has come in morning shift or afternoon shift or night shift or an emergency nurse. And the kind of care which is expected out of care for the patient may not have happened. So there is a challenge there. So as senior nurses today, the challenge in front of us is they understand what is patient safety, but the magnitude of the problem in this varying scenarios, varying roles, how to adjust into it, how to implement it to the best of their ability, that is the challenge in front of them. So what I can say that today, young nurses have to understand, to be a good team player, they have to understand role clarity is must. Their role is, that should be very clear to them. As leaders at the unit level, at senior level, we have to make it very clear to them. Different levels, what is the role expected out of them? What is the kind of work culture in that unit, in the organization? So how they will set their task? What are the activities and the policies and protocols to be followed? How an young nurse can bring those things to the bedside? How she can plan the care effectively, and how she can measure it, bringing excellent outcome that is ensuring patient safety. So to conclude my answer to your question, nurses are aware of patient safety. Today they are trained on patient safety. They have learned about the types of patient safety, definition of patient safety, goals, IPST goals, and it is very important. But due to multifactorial reasons and due to the complexity of the healthcare today and due to the increasing challenges in front of them, even though they are aware, many times due to various reasons, we still fail in ensuring patient safety. But most of the time, we are accomplishing the tasks which are assigned to us.
Thank you so much, Josephine. That was actually deeply insightful. It appeared a true leader speaking. Before I come back to you again with my next question, I would like to share a case study, a small incident with all the colleagues. And which is very much in line what our young Nishu said, or what Ms. Josephine shared from her experience. And it goes like this. An 82-year-old man, a known diabetic case, was admitted in the ER with hypovolemia, with the hypotension and altered sensorium. The patient was diagnosed to be having hypovolemia, as there was a history of 30 to 40 times passing both loose motions and vomiting. The patient was required to be resuscitated in the ER. Stabilized and shifted to medical ICU. And in the ICU, patient was taken care by the nurses, as it was learned that the nurses who were there in that ICU, being a robust and a complex system there, were experienced. And one of our young nurses taking care of the patient, observed that in spite of being conscious, patient was not refusing feeds orally, while not being able to have, and the evening duty staff handed over to the night duty staff about missing the meal, and also informed that she has not administered the patient's insulin. The night duty staff, having a past experience of nearly 1.5 to 2 year ICU experience, did recall night, probably the patient had something, nobody had watched that. And in the morning, after sponge, he suddenly remembered that the insulin dose was missing. Checked the blood sugar through ABG, did the ABG for the patient, and the blood sugar was probably below 90. Administered insulin, again did not inform. The ABG, which revealed revealed hypoglycemia, which was so much correlating with the patient's, also went unnoticed, wherein
And your voice is cracking in between.
Meticulously. Probably escalation, right? Probably escalation of the same was seen completely missing. And finally, within a short while, the patient arrested. Although the Code Blue team did try their best to revive, but the life was lost. And now what this leaves us, thinking. While one side, Ms. Josephine said that the nurses are aware.
Hello, Sandhya, are you there?
Sandhya?
I think Sandhya seems to have
Leaders
lost.
need to. I'm back. I'm sorry about it.
Sandhya, we had lost your
Am I audible?
connectivity.
Can quickly
Sandhya.
Voice is cracking. Can you stop your
am I
video
audible
and
now?
speak? Yes.
Okay. Doing that. Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Can anybody
No, ma'am,
confirm
not
to me?
very clear.
You are not audible.
Not audible, ma'am.
Alright, okay.
Josephine,
Hello,
Josephine?
yes.
maybe you can take over and just
Yeah,
ask the next
what-
question, and you can just discuss your question and then speak ask Nishu.
Yes. I think the next question was for Nishu only.
Hotspot do beta apne.
Sandhya, are you? Shall we go ahead with the second question,
Am I
Sandhya?
audible now?
Yes, you are
Yeah,
audible now.
Am I
Yeah,
audible
you are
now?
audible. Yeah, you are audible. So, Sandhya, Tangam, shall I go ahead with the second question?
I think you go ahead. I'll tell Sandhya that we are moving on because she's having broken connectivity. Okay, you go ahead, Josephine. Yeah.
Then it will be.
Josephine, are you there?
Shall I take it over?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So
please.
so I think Sandhya got disconnected maybe for a few seconds. The second question which I would like to, which Madam Sandhya, Miss Sandhya was supposed to ask to me was, in your leadership role, how have you attempted to inculcate the culture of patient safety in your hospital? That is the question to me. And a very interesting question. In my leadership level, how I have inculcated the culture of safety in the hospital. So let me go step by step. As a leader, when you look at inculcating patient safety in the organization, there are two areas, broad classification. As a leader, either you step into a new organization where everything is fresh, it's a new setup, and you have to start from the beginning. A newly constructed organization where you are asked to perform. So that was, I'm talking about my experience. So I had the opportunity twice, two hospitals where I had to start from the beginning.
Thank you.
I found that kind of a setup, it is in your hands. You are going to create your team. And when we look at nursing teams, we have teams at a different level. If you look at team, the first team is the core team, the nurses with varying experience who will be working at a bedside. Maybe they are in the OPD, emergency, ICUs, different areas. Number two, of course, mid-level managers who will be much senior to the bedside nurses who will be taking more responsibility. You also need teams as coordinators interacting with various people in various departments, and they also take a leadership responsibility like nurse managers, nursing supervisors, and ANS, DNS, different designations in different hospitals. And then you have the senior most team who directly get into administration and operation. So what I have done is, with my long experience, choosing the right people for the right job. So when you are, once you recruit the team, that the accountability comes to you. So when you are recruiting, whether it is for bedside nursing, where the core team works, whether you are intending to put that person to a particular role, your task should be very clear in your mind. So choosing the right people on board that is the first step we have to do. Now, once the team is in place, as a leader, interact with them in a very open fashion, open interaction, and start building the team. That is, in a new organization, it is much easier than in an established organization, where you have, suppose you are moving and joining, like in my case, I have done into an established organization. In an established organization, you have leaders already there at the senior level, and mid-level leaders are there, and junior staffs are there. So when I am into that kind of a setup, my role is different. People are already aware of patient safety. They had been practicing, and they are of great experience, and they are skilled personnels. So as a nurse leader, you have to play a different role in both the places. Now, in the new area, you have to start from the beginning, like teaching about patient safety in a new setup, teaching about the patient safety goals, and the importance of patient safety in today's healthcare scenario, which is very, very complex, very challenging. Today, what are the customer needs, customer expectation? That is very much important for the nurse leader, for the organization, for the organization status in the society. All such awareness have to be inculcated into the mind of youngsters who have come on board with you in the new organization to build up your team very, very strong at every level. You may be strong at top, that doesn't mean that you are an effective leader. You have to build from the ground, like how we make a house. The base has to be very strong. But in an established organization, when the people are already experienced, what I practice is understand the culture of the organization, the work culture of the organization, the dynamics of the organization, the practices within the organization, and listen to the team already existing. So listen from them, and then comprehend, understand, come with your thoughts and ideas, and identify training needs. At the end, your motto is patient safety, which will end up with increasing patient satisfaction, and share with the team. With my experience, I have seen that if you are open in your interaction, if you are honest in your focus, and you are sharing that idea with your team, the team will come with ideas. The team will come with ideas, the team will share with you, and then take one task at a time. You cannot have all the tasks listed and you want to accomplish everything in a short span of time. Impossible. You will crumble down, and not only the leadership, the team also will have dissatisfaction. So you need to make sure that simple tasks are taken into consideration, share with the team, build small teams, and design the steps which you want to follow, accomplish the task, come back to the team, share your experience with the team, how we managed to accomplish. Now, I'll tell you an example. The very first hospital in South, when I went, we had to go through nursing excellence. And I myself was not educated much in, what is this nursing excellence certification is all about. I had not gone through the formal training, even though I read the book multiple times, the standards, but took it as a challenge. I had a wonderful team with me. So we all came together. It was learning together. And there are 7 chapters in nursing excellence. Each one took the responsibility of each chapter. We had 7 leaders who were very, very committed. And to support them, we had other leaders, but primarily one leader and support leaders. So different levels, we created, trained the trainer teams, so that whatever we are discussing and training, that continues and that has to reach to the junior most staff. You won't believe, at the end of nursing excellence certification, I could notice that when we had hardly any observations, very few observations, and we learned so much during that 6 to 8 months of preparation, the team felt so good. The team felt so good. They were so excited. And for the first time, even though we had an, other accreditation like NABH prior to that, the happiness and accomplishment I could see in them, even today I remember and I cherish that, because completely they were taking the ownership from the moment they put the application in the system to NABH, designing the plan, planning the training module, putting the audits in place, and making cross team. We had made team across to do cross audits, identifying the gaps, closing them, and preparing with all excitement to face the assessors. And the team leaders only presented the QIPs, the clinical audits to them. And at the end, it was a great success. So what I wanted to say that today, it is a challenge to sustain your team and to make big teams or small teams. But if you are committed, if you are focused, if you are transparent, if you are honest, and your genuine intentions, what you want to accomplish through them is clear to your team, it is possible. Is Sandhya there?
Yes, Josephine, I'm there, and thank you very much for pulling it up. There was some serious issue at my end, and I just lost this.
So
So
I
my
just spoke Sandhya about how to create team and carry on with the team. Yeah. So
Yes.
I think question
So,
number 2 to Nishu. Yeah.
that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what I left last with, I was discussing a case study, and I did mention how an experienced nurse who knew everything and did the things what were required for the patient step by step. Probably the escalation, identifying the vulnerability, escalating the low sugar levels, checking with the doctor on the prescription, informing clarity, getting clarity on missing doses of insulin, and all these things
Sandhya,
probably
Sandhya,
started get missed out at every
Sandhya,
step of treatment. I'll stop the
Sandhya.
video, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
stop the video so that your voice is more clearer.
yes, Jyoti,
Yeah.
you're audible. Right. Okay, thank you so much. So I said at every step, the lapses kept occurring. And in spite of being aware, we tend to miss out the important steps or important things which as a nurse, he or she is ought to do. We miss out on the most critical things which can probably cost our lives, as it was seen in this case. So with this, when I come, am I all alone at the patient end, or is there somebody else who can actually collaborate with me, whom I can reach out? So with this, Nishu, I would like to know from you, as a young nurse at the patient bedside, what is your understanding on what makes or what encompasses the patient safety and the healthcare teams?
Uh, Thank you, ma'am, for passing this question to me. Firstly, I want to say, ma'am, in any healthcare system, we have a defined structure, we have a defined process, policies, protocols. Definitely, our final outcome is the patient safety and a patient care, patient satisfaction. No one in the hospital, no healthcare worker in the hospital wants to harm any patient, but we are dealing with the human beings. We can't undo anything. That's why we are more concerned for the patient safety. Yes, uh, we have a defined protocols, principles. Do no harm is the basic and core principle for healthcare system to ensure the safety. And ma'am, I would like to add on in this. We cannot assume patient safety. We have to assure patient safety. And then how we can assure the patient safety? It's very important. Again, how serious I am for my patient. That's important. At any point of time, do I am checking my patient? Do I am identifying my patient correctly before giving any medication, before doing blood transfusion? Do I am doing the self double check at the time of when I'm receiving the blood product? I check the patient identity with the patient file and with the blood product. Then when I'm about to start the blood, can I check the blood product with the patient? Did I speak to the patient? I'm going to do that. Next is, ma'am, communication, collaboration. When collaboration with the patient, collaboration with the other teammates reduce half of the problem. Using the S bar for the communication of critical information, read back policy, clear doubts, call outs. All these things are not just a process or protocols. We have to use it. We have to assure that we are in a right way to assure our patient safety. When I'm giving medication as a nurse, do I am following all the rights at every point of time? That is the assurity. Because we are working with the healthcare system, we can't breach any process. Any breach to any process at any point of time can lead to, there is always a residual risk of harm to the patient. And don't forget, do no harm is our core principle. When I'm shifting the patient to the operation theater, Did I'm using the pre-operative checklist as a tool or I'm using it as a checklist? That's very important. There is a lot of difference between that, because checklists, they are the tools, they are the instruments to recall us. All these things should be in place before doing anything. So we have to use the checklist not as just to filling the form after doing everything. We have to use it as a tool at the point when we are doing the things. When it comes for the infection, hospital acquired infection, healthcare associated infection is a concern for the healthcare system. So are we following the WHO 5 hand hygiene moments? Are we following the hand hygiene steps meticulously? Is I am following the hand hygiene as a religion for myself, for my patient, for my family? When I have vulnerable patients, though in my senses, ma'am, all the patients coming in the hospital, they're coming with pain or some disease condition, they are vulnerable. I have to take care of them so well. Doesn't matter I have a 1 patient or a 6 patient, I should be aware about them. I should treat them as one of my family member. I have to initiate the safety first program for them. Just putting in vulnerable ID ban, putting a safety first sticker doesn't help. Talking to the patient, showing concern to them, escorting them when they are going to the washroom. Each and every time when I'm visiting to the patient, putting the side rails up and keep on educating to the patient actually will ensure the patient's safety. And as a midline, the role of midline managers will play a vital role in this cases, ma'am. We have to do the cross audits. We have to do the process checks to ensure the patient's safety, ma'am. Thank you. Hello.
Thank
Kanda
you,
ma'am?
Rishu. Thank you very much. And just to add on what you spoke, and I must appreciate, you literally elaborated on everybody's role. Apart from the frontliners, the midline managers, it's everybody who touches the patient directly or indirectly is a part, is a member in the patient, in the journey of patient safety. So let's not ignore the GDAs, the housekeeping, the pharmacist, the dietitian, the physiotherapist, the direct players, and of course our most important, I would say, stakeholders, the clinicians, and the people who serve us, the caregivers, who work on the principle care to caregivers, the biomedical engineers, the supply chain. Everybody plays a direct and indirect role who is a partner and of course contributes to the journey of patient safety or patient healing. Thank you, Nishu. You really, spoke from heart, I would say. So, Ms. Josephine, I'm going to come back to you again with the last question in the series. You have built teams, you have set up hospitals, you have assessed the country from east to west and north to south. How have you seen here at this forum? What will be your suggestion to the leaders, to the budding managers, and the frontliners, everybody associate connected at this forum, on how do we go about building and strengthening these teams? Of course, you will agree that nurses don't work in a silo and we need everybody. But how do we ensure that we collaborate and we become an effective one when it comes on to patient safety? Over to you, Ms. Josephine. We are listening. Hello? Hello?
Ma'am, she's muted herself.
Can you unmute herself?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So here comes the teamwork, the team player. So what I wanted to say here is that now the nurses understand, with my experience, what I wanted to say, nurses understand patient safety is very important. And now we want to sustain it, we want to continue it. So in today's scenario with the pandemic around, with the increasing nurse-patient ratio, a big challenge in front of us because of the attrition to overseas countries. And there can be resource constraints, if not now, in future. We as nurse leaders have to think that our leaders, our team members have to be put to much at peace with whatever task we have given to them. So they have to be informed that how to utilize the manpower, the richest resource which we have under them, the team under them. So that is ensuring skill mix is there, so that in every shift, right skill is there, and they are well trained, they are mature, they understand their responsibility, they are professionally accountable for the task they are doing, so that our patients are safe. And as Florence Nightingale said, no harm to our patients. See, I have seen that, as Sandhya has told a very true incident, what has happened initially. I myself seen that in spite of all the teaching, all the efforts, the staff who is well aware of assessment has not communicated that her patient has fallen down in the middle of night. And next day, the patient had symptoms. He was disoriented. He was not stable. And then a code orange, early warning sign code that was activated. And a CT revealed the patient had STH, operated. And of course, we lost the patient finally. So I meant to say, in spite of coming together as a team, doing night shifts, doing different roles, we still have one thing we still lacking, that is communication. We have to improve in our communication between among the team members. And also the next thing what we have to remember, that we as nurses alone, we cannot work efficiently as a team. We need to maintain good IPR and understanding with every member in the healthcare system. Starting from the security guard to housekeeping, as Sandhya was rightly saying, to the dietitian, physiotherapists, the counselors, everyone. If I see today nurses work at a different role. Say nurses are working as coordinators with the consultants in various specialities. They are the palliative care nurses. They are excellent when it comes to infection control practices. They also teach patients how to manage the stoma. And today with increasing oncosurgery, stoma is a huge challenge in front of our patients. And organ transplant, post-transplant, there is bone marrow transplant, kidney transplant, liver transplant, patients are getting discharged. The nurses who are assigned as coordinators and senior nurses, they educate them. The new concept today is home care nursing, outreach program. So we have a huge role in front of us, because we know that every house, the children, they are working elsewhere, the elderly patients who are getting discharged. So we have elderly patients in front of us with varying disease conditions, complex disease conditions, with no one to take care of them at home. We as nurses, we understand the challenges in front of an elderly person, living alone, loneliness, disease management, polypharmacy, follow-up to the hospital. So what I meant to say, we as nurses coming together as a team, we can do miracles, provided we understand the complexity of the challenges in front of us. And we have to keep changing our roles, keep learning. So the suggestion from my side is that whether you are a senior or junior or the senior most in the system, as a nurse leader, connect with every person possible in the system, whether the senior most doctor or the junior most employee, utilize the resources available and upskill ourselves and upskill our team members, and share the knowledge and wisdom what we have with our team members. And with the kind of commitment as a leader you are able to share with your team, the team will understand it. They understand the pulse of the leader, and they also will flow in the same direction. And if we are able to transfer that energy and enthusiasm to the junior most nurse at a bedside level, we are winning, and we can ensure patient safety. So this is the challenge in front of us. And another simple example I will tell you, which I made it happen in one of the institutions, that with that I will conclude. Inventory management is a huge challenge. We think that inventory has nothing much to do with patient safety. Directly or indirectly, that is very important. A right resource available at the right time, the right type, right amount for the patients on the floor is so important. For the nurse on the floor at 2 a.m. in the night, she cannot run around for an exciter. So we introduced the concept of 5S in one of the organizations I was working as leader. And you won't believe, initially, none of us knew how to implement 5S. We came together as a team, studied, understood the challenges, made it happen. And the amount of unnecessary stuff we removed from the various cabinets here and there, it was all distributed to areas where it can be utilized. And I told the team just to bring, see, team comes when we are together. So I have seen, when I had been to Singapore, I have seen the team is projected on their, big, beautiful wall as a tree with all the members' pictures and name written there. So we started this tree concept in that organization. I just shown them one small tree. I thought they all will do it, but you won't believe they made beautiful designs, and every department, every unit, nurses made such wonderful tree. And that reflects a real team. They understood the concept of the team. They made it happen. And Fibers was a great success. We presented it as a QIP when NEBH assessment happened. So what I meant to say, building a team is, it has to be within you as a passion. And you have to take it that is must, and there is no other way. You have to do it. And that energy, enthusiasm, and spirit with a lot of honesty and integrity and commitment. And the one thing we need to communicate to the team is, once we do something, once we form a team and the roles are clear to them, we have to sustain it. Making things happen for a short while is not going to be appreciated. We have to sustain it with a lot of commitment and continuity in the process we have established to ensure patient safety. So I conclude my talk here with, I just saw how as nurses, when we talk about patient safety, we can accomplish patient satisfaction through CPR. That was something interesting for me. So I thought CPR means, we always think of CPR means cardiopulmonary resuscitation. But let me tell you, friends, there is another CPR into it. When we think of patient safety, think C means compassionate communication. We all communicate in our day-to-day life. The other day, I was taking a session for my team, senior team, on effective communication, enhanced communication, unaccepted communication. All in the 5th edition, it is there. But compassionate communication is the need of the hour. And that compassionate communication will build the team and keep the team together. And P stands for patient information. Today, many things are not informed to the patient disease condition, and we have to involve the patient in our plan of care. Patient has to be informed, even a simple thing like what time I will be coming in the morning and waking you up to give you a sponge, a routine nursing care, or collecting your blood sample, or keeping you ready for the surgery. If the surgery is getting postponed, what X, Y, Z. That patient information, his rights and responsibilities, how he can take himself the ownership to prevent fall, which is a big challenge in front of us. So P stands for patient information. We have to improve upon if we want patient safety. And last, response. What is patient response? Be a good listener. Listen to him. He will tell you his feelings. I've seen an elderly patient who is about to retire. His lower limbs are weak. He cannot walk. He was on a urinary catheter indwelling. And he was almost in tears when he shared with me, I have only one son who is in an IT job. My only depression and frustration is I have just 2 years to retire and I cannot walk independently. I have to depend on people and I may fall. Such feelings we as nurses, we understand. Have a listening ear and listen to our patients, their family. We can be the best beside them. So let's remember CPR today to ensure patient safety, compassionate communication, patient information, and listen to their response and listen to their at what level they are satisfied with us so that we can further improve upon. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Josephine. Thank you very much. You probably left everybody speechless. It was all straight coming from heart. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you,
thoughts
Sandhya.
and being with
Thank
us.
you.
Thanks. And so just to have a quick look back on, what we had today, and of course there had been some disturbances. I am privileged and honored to see one of our experts, and I would say even my advisors, Ms. Jyoti Clara, be amongst us. And of course, she holds a big responsibility of being the vice president of Annie. Ms. Jyoti, may I please invite you to share your thoughts and help us conclude the session, and also extend your vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Sandhya. That was a very interesting dialogue between all three of you. Although it was not a very planned session, I think it brought in stories, it brought in reflection, and it also brought in insight into all the participants. Empowered Hour of Annie is something very unique and something very special. Thanks to all the members of Annie, the leaders, the President Thankam, the Treasurer Ajita, the Secretary Shubhada, and myself as Vice President. We are so delighted, and all the EC members. We are so delighted to see how the Annie is moving forward, and Empowered Hour is much awaited session month after month. Thank you, Sandhya, the president of Annie Delhi chapter, for having coordinated this program, put in right questions in the mind of people. Curiosity quotient is the best quotient, even better than intelligent quotient, to trigger people to learn and improve and develop. I think you did a great job. Josephine, the president of Haryana chapter, Annie, you have brought in wonderful values with your experience. Experience speaks much more than book. Experience speaks much more than your protocols and procedures. You did it rightly. Thank you very much, Josephine. And to Miss Nishu Arora, very beautiful young nurse, carefully articulated her experience, and she has put in points in our minds. I would like to sum up: being an effective team player in patient safety. The Annie's Empowered Hour session in next 3 minutes. The point number one that I would like to stress was a wonderful kickstart from Ms. Nishu Arora. I had a similar experience. After completing nursing in CMC, with the promotion of senior tutor, did not have vacancy in Rainey Hospital, was posted in theatre as a theatre nurse, just as just to accommodate me because I have been sponsored. So then the School of Nursing did not have vacancy. So when I entered, I was given a dust. I came with a great opportunity because there was a promotion in CMC against which I was transferred here. So with great dreams, I came up because I'm going to become a lecturer. And then a duster was given in my hand. Those days, it is carbonization of the theatre. So they told me, wipe all the walls before 7:30. So we signed up at 7. All the walls are wiped. Afternoon, behind the screen at the backyard of the theatre, folding up all the clothings that is required, the linen, packing up, washing and packing up. We don't have a proper CSST technology those days. But when I turned back, my dear fellow colleagues, when I turned back after so many years, when I shifted from academia to healthcare industry, I understood why Lord took me through that path. Sometimes God will take us out of comfort. You will never get high, but you will be successful in the next venture when you're exposed. That was a beautiful start that was given by Nishu. Fantastic start. And as Josephine said, lifelong learning. Learning is very important. This is where we differ from the medical fraternity. You will wonder, like medical fraternity, after they join, they keep learning. Every day they keep learning. They bring in innovations, they partake, they share. But in nursing, what happened is we have divided into education and practice. So there is a great divide. Those who educate don't practice, but it is not same in medicine. But it is not possible in nursing also, because nursing is a time-consuming, resource-intense care, which certainly requires a divide. So people working in the hospital have to understand very clearly, we have to be very bold and powerful. Messages were very clear from all three speakers. Being powerful means You have to know why of nursing. Why do you do it? Why do you keep something there? Why do you organize? Why do you put things first? All these are whys of it. So if we are not able to understand why do I do a particular act, we will not be successful in nursing. Second aspect is we should be fearless. When we want to be fearless, who will be in the front? Just hang your patient in front of your image, like the patient, like a dollar. Your patient should come first. So when your patient is in front of you, you can always say, for the best of the patient, doctor, I am telling this. I cannot give this medicine because it is a therapeutic duplication. Would you please change the order? When you keep patient first, then what will happen? The doctors will follow you. The nursing senior professional will follow you. If your nursing heads call you, come out, I want to talk to you. You say, sorry, I'm taking care of a ventilator patients. Give me time. I need to focus. If I leave the patient will have to suffer. So give me some time. Give me an appointment. I will come back and see you. During my work time, I cannot. So these are some of the cultures that we have to bring in India. Work culture. When we are at work, we have to be at work, focused on patient. But many times what happened was, like nurses always likes to do everything other than patient care. If you get an opportunity, somebody is calling you for something, okay, you step out from there and you focus on that. You don't realize it is outside the profession. However, teamwork is very important. We should know how to get our support teams to support us rather than we falling into that and neglecting patient care. So teamwork is very important. In a teamwork, we should learn how to raise up without hierarchy. So wait for an opportunity, grab the opportunity. When the opportunity comes, stand up and tell very confidently, this is what I think is best for the patient. Nobody will deny that. 5 times they will be irritated that you are overactive, very smart. But the 6th time they will search for you. Where is the staff? Oh, if she is there, I'm safe. So nurses have to play an effective team player job. If we fail to recognize ourselves in the team, if you are not put us prominently, like Miss Tankam very clearly told, if you want to see the person's face, pin her. In the webinar, you have to pin her. So pin yourself very clearly so the doctor sees your face very clearly. The nurse, the patient sees your face very clearly so that you're pinned into the team. So the team will see that you're not a replaceable candidate. Then automatically your increment will be done. Your organization will pay you more. Nobody will let you go and you will start growing. And very important point this team has discussed, a senior professional not letting a junior to take over. In nursing, this point, team player is very important. Internal to nursing, when we know that there are nurses growing with us, give way for them. Put your hands on their hands. Make their hand work, but your hand will stop them when they are unsafe. This is what a senior professional should do. I would say any young nurse graduating from a college, I have seen in my experience in the past and current, it will not take 4 months to learn any talent. 4 months, you can turn around her into a level 3 competent nurse, for which the nurses have to be inclined. Aptitude to that particular work is important. A nurse who is working in ICU cannot work in ward. It's difficult because she can only take care of 2 patients, 1 patient. She cannot do the fantastic job a ward nurse would do, taking care of 5 to 6 patients. She will fail. Aptitude differs for nurses. So let us break tradition. If you want to do a team player, don't rotate nurses 3 months in ward, 3 months in ICU. What is the purpose? We are not making them generalists. Focus in specialization of specialists. That is what speakers told. They said specialization is very important. Every single nurse, you go back, ask to yourself, I am a generalist nurse, but what are the 3 things I am smart and special about? 3 specialization. Focus on 3 specialization, 100%. Then the rest of the things are the peripheral area. You can go anywhere. So I feel that teamwork for safety is very important. And always I would like to say, and this is a concluding word, in a team, whoever is the highly qualified professional should be accountable for anything that is happening. So never ever blame housekeeping has done it, runner has done it, junior nurse has done it, the trainee has done it, the student has done it. No. In the team, if you are the senior most or you are the most competent and you are the most qualified professionals in that particular team, then you are accountable for everything. This is what I do tell my doctors. If they come back with problems, I say, in the team, you are the most qualified, you are accountable. They can do mistakes, but not you. So you have to lead them and you have to correct them. But that correction should never be in front of others, but stepping them out. If you cannot do with respect, please pass on the nurse to me or to my nurse leaders. So they will be able to correct them. So with this, I think it was a fantastic program. Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you, Josephine. And thank you, Nishu. Excellent, excellent program. And to start with, Tankam has set the ground very clearly for all of us. Thank you very much. We all enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jyoti. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jyoti
Thank you,
ma'am,
Dr.
Tangam
All the
ma'am, and
friends,
all the
everybody,
members.
before you leave, I'm just taking this opportunity on behalf of all the leaders and every team member in the Delhi chapter, and on behalf of the entire team of Delhi and Haryana, I extend a warm welcome and we look forward to host you. And please join us for the first International Annie Conference and help us making it a big success. We see you in May, but certainly we are meeting next month again on the last Saturday of Annie, and in the last Saturday of the month of April. We meet again in the next Empower Hour. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend ahead. Jai Hind.